talked to everyone already. Together with my husband Kev, we run this studio called Busybird Publishing Studio Gallery, and we've only been here for 3.5 months, so we still feel like babies. And I'm really excited that people keep coming every month for these open mic nights. It's really encouraging, and we're hoping that by doing that we're creating an artistic community that feels safe, and happy to be in this environment. So, a little bit about Busybird Publishing. Kev is a photographer and illustrator, and I'm an editor and a writer. So together we sort of are a complete package, if you like, in terms of publishing. And so we do publish lots of books. We also do a lot of creative projects together and individually. One of our ongoing projects that we're really proud of is this book called Untitled, in this way, unless you self-publish. So we encourage people to send into this for their stories to be considered. We're also running a novella competition. There's some forms up on the table there. We've got these paintings with spring, how many days? 10 days away? Something like that. 19 days away. So, and you can feel it in the air, even though it's a little bit nippy still, the days are getting longer and the sun's out, so you kind of feel like spring is almost here. So, I'm sure you've all had a little look at the paintings. They'll be up for the next month. And I would like to invite the artist up, Michelle Endersby. I'm going to let Michelle tell you a little bit about her paintings and herself, maybe, and then we're going to officially launch.
Thank you, Blaze. It's such a thrill to be here tonight. I grew up in Montmorency, in what was then the Shire of Eltham, where environment and the arts was a constant underlying current. The natural beauty of the area had long inspired creativity, with artists from the Heidelberg School venturing out here. Of course, there's the artist colony of Montserrat, and many other painters, potters and sculptors in their mud brick cottages. My upbringing revolved around observing nature and an endless search for gumnut babies and Banksia men, and florals or nature studies seem more like portraits than traditional florals. A brush with death changed my life and strengthened my career as an artist. On awakening from a coma following emergency brain surgery to repair a ruptured blood vessel, I was presented with an inspirational vision. I found myself in a beautiful light-filled rose garden, and this vision hastened my recovery and illuminated my path forward. My family had been told to expect weeks or months for my recovery, but I skipped out of hospital in 11 days and never looked back. I had been entreated with a mission to paint the sacred beauty that I experienced and share. I knew that this was the next stage of my art journey. Floribunda is a series of 20 paintings which I have painted over the past 4 years, and I would love to introduce some of the characters to you. We have the almond blossoms ready to shower a confetti of petals on the ground. Down towards the back we have the mysterious moonlit magnolia, the ever-optimistic blue sky poppy, an army of proud tangerine tulips marching towards us, the unusual but delicious colours of the caramel rose, and there's a bunch of just Joey roses, so complex, deep and detailed, commanding a second look, and the cheeky red hibiscus, just asking to be plucked as they herald the coming of spring. And I thank you all for sharing in my joy tonight.
Thank you, Michelle. I have never thought of looking at flowers in that way. Thank you, it's gorgeous. So, I would like to officially not first because Michelle's already gone. Do you mind? I think the poetry is perfect now.
Yes, no problem.
So, Paul Dunnell with a poem. The title is Don't Know Yet.
What I really did was wait until I heard what other people wrote, read, and then I'd pick something, so I didn't know which one. What I've been doing lately is what I call urban landscapes, looking at just urban life from way back in my early childhood. So we're going to see Melbourne from England of Despair, I'll say the lake. The tats on his arms were a good idea years ago, now fallen, twisted, wrinkled, ravaged by age. His eyes seem to stare beyond his immediate place, lost perhaps, bewildered, immersed in the river of his youth. Our eyes briefly met. He saw my enjoyment, a flickering smile upon his face. House of Prince's Bridge, if you know that area. And this is called Jamie. He was standing framed in the doorway. With the light behind, his features are obscured. His silhouette reveals he is a powerfully built man. Hello, is it okay to come in? His voice a rich, deep baritone, the accent unmistakably Irish. I was busy polishing the hull of a racing angel and hadn't heard.
And this time I'm looking at the other side, the lighter side. So we've got another mirror stone. The magic is still going wrong. Okay, and it represents culture being stolen. Okay, so I'll read a little of it. Herman Lee and Gok sat at the mirror stone. Haiku stood behind them. The rainbow stone shone, streaked with gold, pink and lilac against the rich black obsidian. Shadows flitted about and crawled into the craggy rocks, crept among the scent that had disappeared. Perhaps it was a bat woken from slumber by their entrance, for some bats did live in gale-looked stone. Here's how we begin, said Gok, drawing the boys' attention to the immediate task by opening the leather-bound tome. Gok sat at the sacred tome upon the mirror stone, and the symbols ran, skipped and danced together in a three-dimensional pattern as Gok pushed the stone. They bounced and jumped out of the tarry stone and coursed up and down the walls, a parade of swirling colours of love and hope. This transcended anything the Hope and Land could experience.
A little bit of the character Gillian, and this is another character from this particular lot of writings, which I'll call a book. I hope it becomes a book. This is the character Rick, just one page. Only 10 p.m. Plenty of time to get home and not raise any eyebrows. The streets of Port Melbourne had the feel of an early party season, entirely removed from my mortgage trap. Maritime tinkling of flagpoles and gusts, keyholes of live music, and people alive and living and loving their life. I wanted to turn around, run to the elevator, fly up to her apartment. She had sparked me awake. I could risk another hour out, up in that clear, clean building by her Bay Market stall, but she tied them round my neck and said they looked better on me. She was right. I wore them tonight to prove my free-spirited nature, to signify the Adonis within. Susie was polished and prim, coordinated. Her long, slim sofa and sculptured artifacts to meet her lips. But the beads didn't hold. They snapped and sprung over the bed, scattered on floorboards and buried in shag rugs. We laughed, we lunched on the beach after a decade of freezing white Christmases. Then I would come home to her siren scorch. Fuck, she burned me up, but I had no choice. I had to wait, smoulder for another month, satisfied. Checking my
Thanks, Gina. Gina was a little bit worried about the F word she used quite a bit in there. So we're all grown-ups. Okay. Now, afterwards, I want you all to eat up all of the cheese and crackers that I've spent hours labouring over, and the biscuits and the cake. And we also have some special coffees that are there for you to taste. And you can actually buy them if you like, but they're really just there for tasters tonight. And feel free to have more wine. So, you know, I don't want you to go home with an empty belly. So, now we're going to have some more poetry with Sue.
I don't know.
Yes. Once were warriors. Yes. I'll just say that title and say heads to a different order.
Thank you.
Sue.
It's better for short people, I think. Okay, this is a poem that I wrote in '99. But we live in St Helena, and we had a wonderful oval with a 100-year-old church below it with 1,500-year-old oak trees. I tried to go down amongst them on the day and stand in front of chainsaws and be a pain to everybody, but it didn't do us any good. We did all the legal stuff beforehand. We were given promises that all the trees with the yellow ribbon were staying. Well, they were the first to go. It was the other way around. So it was pretty unfair and pretty awful. So the next day, I think I wrote this. Once were warriors. 100 years they stood guard, witnesses to all the change around them. Their linked arms sheltered all who sought respite and nurtured tender offspring at their feet. Oaks and pines and peppercorns they were. I stand quite quickly and left my nerves in a jangle. Backward and forward I jerked, head wobbling, my mouth was ajar. My back was getting a workout while I desperately clung to that bar. Rashid and his mate strode along, ignoring their burdens on top. I clung with my knees to the saddle and tried to ignore that long drop. Then after 10 minutes or so, I let go of the bar, feeling fine, enjoying the beach and the sight of the camels strung out in a line. All too soon we looked back to the start and the camels stopped, still at a word. Next thing Rashid folded his legs and his front end dropped, pitching me forward. I clutched at the bar with both hands. When his back end dropped down, we called it hearts meet. A young girl, a younger boy, eyes downcast, black toes stir idly in the dust. A shy peep, secret smiles, two heads turned, our friendly overtures spurned. Another peep, sideways grins, teeth flash white, two childish faces come alight. We all crouch to stroke their pup. He's just a mite, but able to make our hearts unite. When I attempted to mount him, he tried to nip my behind. His driver told me to lean back and hang onto the bar in front. Then he told Rashid to cush, but he lazily started to grunt. He roared his protest quite loud and turned to eye me with disgust. He was happy down chewing his cud, not moving though their time had ended. I didn't warn them to beware when we communed. Today, executioners in green uniforms inflicted death by cavitation. They wore earmuffs to silence the wail of the dying. Couldn't hear the final thud to earth of the once proud pioneers and cared little for what they
What I was thinking
about.
about when you talking about the words.
If you're not already on our mailing list, we do have one up on the table. We don't send a lot of stuff out to people on our mailing list, but we do have a monthly newsletter where we tell people about what we're doing in terms of writing and workshops and things like that. So it is up there if you're not already on it. We're going to finish up with some music. Gillian Tony. Would you like this out of the way? Yes. Did you bring your music stand?
I went to last night. She was telling me all about how it was flying around, doing all sorts of acrobatic things in trapezes and stuff, and singing along the way. So I'm going to suggest that Julie has it.
Do you want to stand that side of me on this
No,
side?
if I stay on this side, that means we both can
Oh,
talk and listen without.
that's right. without me getting a black eye from the
Okay, you okay with that?
Yeah.
This is going to be quite interesting to see.
Experimental.
Yeah, because we're, yeah, it's good idea.
He obviously doesn't like to share music.
You must choose citrus, which ice cream, chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla.
Vanilla, I said, didn't need to think.
Why citrus?
That's easy, I don't know.
Yes, citrus, that's good. Most people claim everyone knows. Do you get angry, citrus?
No, I said, and my voice was flat.
Well, you should be.
Then he told me,
Get a pillow, beat the stuff out, and why you do that? Practice getting angry about something, anything. Never scream, let it all out.
no, I'm not supposed to do guitar bit then. I want vanilla. So I practiced, began to get the hang of it. Then I got to this. Men keep trying to hit on me.
Because of what you do, and you're doing it right now.
Now that made me angry. Hadn't thought of him as a man. And then he told me it was our last session. Then he started ringing me. I really like vanilla. I want vanilla.
Oh, citrus, now we're getting somewhere, as I knew we would. When you answered my first question, which was, why are you here?
I said awful things keep happening to me. Must be something I'm doing, and I want to change that. I want to
Sunday, between 4 and 5 at the stage at the school. And also on next month, on the 6th of September, we're just going to do 5 songs at the regular monthly concerts at St Margaret's, because we've got a medieval ensemble called Troubadours who've put together a program of songs about death.
So thank you everyone for coming, and thank you Michelle for having your paintings here. It's really brightened up our space. Kev and I will also be at the festival on Sunday. We're going to be in the school, so if any of you have kids, Kev's going to be teaching them cartooning, and I'm going to be doing stories with them. So we're going to be there all day.